Hi Pisces, welcome to your October 2019 Astrology 33 bonus love reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And also, just to let you guys know, I actually will be starting up the personal readings again in October. So if you're interested, just check out the description of the video for more info on all that. Alright, so with that out of the way, we're looking at what I call a bridging the gap spread, and the way it works is on the left side we have 3 cards that represent your energy towards the connection with your main love interest, then 3 cards that represent their energy toward the connection. These are the past energies, present energies, future energies. Then after we get through those, we'll actually pull some oracle cards for some additional insight. That's where the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. Alright, so with that out of the way, starting with the past position on your side, we have contemplation, and this is actually a major arcana card that represents Virgo. This is the equivalent of the Hermit. But so on the one hand, it could just be saying that maybe you're contemplating having a serious relationship, right? Because if we think about 7th house, that does tend to represent those stable, long-term committed relationships. Another way this could be playing out, though, is just saying that you're really just going inward right now, maybe not going out a lot, just relaxing, really just keeping to yourself. Maybe someone already made an offer to you and you're just considering whether you want to accept that offer or not. And if that's the case, looks like you're really thinking it over, maybe taking a really long time to make a decision too. All right, the past position on their side, they have the wheel. So this is the equivalent of the Wheel of Fortune. And this can just be saying that maybe this person has a lot of options if we take the artwork in this quite literally, right? That's one way it could be playing out. Or another way it could just be playing out is just saying that their luck might have made a positive turn in the recent past. And maybe because they were feeling more secure in their position, maybe that's why they actually made that offer to you in the past. So that could be a way it's playing out for at least some of you. In the present position on your side, we actually have the 5 of coins. So this is the equivalent of the 5 of pentacles, and it's definitely not really a positive energy. I mean, the artwork is probably self-explanatory in that regard. It looks like she's holding a baby and she's walking through a snowstorm. That doesn't really look like it's a lot of fun. But this represents Taurus energy. So for some of you, this could just be pointing to you and saying that you're not communicating with someone right now. Again, like I said, maybe someone made you an offer, you've been thinking it over, and now even in the present, you still haven't really spoken up about, are you going to accept it or are you not going to accept it? So this could just be saying that you're bringing that feeling on to someone else in the situation. But this could also just be saying that it might be the other way around, where maybe this person ends up leaving behind and going to an ex. The reason I say that is in the present position on their side, they have the 6 of chalices, which is the equivalent of the 6 of cups. So it looks like they're definitely looking at that painting of the two people rather fondly. So that could be what's going on there, as far as, maybe that's why you're feeling left out in the cold. Because like I said, maybe for some of you it's that this person has a lot of options. So maybe while you were taking your time contemplating, they might have decided, well, you know what, I'm going to go get back with my ex, for example. Just a really super generic example, but that's one way I could see the energies playing out there. But I mean, I would say in some way, if it is that they really just haven't heard back from you, this can just represent that this is how they're viewing you. They're looking at you longingly and reminiscing on the good times you guys had and maybe wanting to reach out. Although I will say it's interesting that her body language in relation to the spread, she's looking away from everything too. So could definitely be someone else for at least some of you that they're going back to. And maybe, like I said, because you're just not really communicating with them right now for whatever reason. All right, in the future position on your side, we have the 8 of arrows. So this is the equivalent to the 8 of swords, and represents that energy of feeling stuck, not knowing which way to go as far as, moving forward. Can you move forward, right? You can't really see your way. And this represents a lot of mental thoughts too, and this is actually a Gemini card. So you know what it can be for at least some of you. It can be that what's holding you back from this connection could be you have a lot of financial concerns right now, because I mean we do have to point out the fact that Five of Coins sometimes is referred to as the poverty card. And then if we factor in that for you guys, Gemini is your fourth house. So it could just be saying maybe even home, trouble in the home environment, possibly, maybe having to move, right? And maybe that's the difficulty. Um, maybe you're moving into a more expensive place, or conversely, maybe you found out you can't afford where you are currently, so you're trying to get into a cheaper place. That's really what I'm starting to feel with this mixture of energy. It's like it might not be that there's anxiety directly related to the connection. It could just be because of external circumstances, and then obviously it does have a ripple effect, but it could just be where the cause of your concern is coming from, basically. Because at the bottom of the deck we have the Nine of Arrows, so same type of energy, more Gemini energy, and obviously these aren't the most comfortable energies to have, the Eight and Nine of Swords. So seems like you're just not able to move forward in some way. And what's interesting is it's like if we look at this person here, it looks like an angel, right? And what this could be communicating, it looks like he's trying to hand an arrow to her, right? Which could be saying to communicate, right? So that could be what this is about, where for whatever reason someone might have made an offer to you, you were contemplating it, but then never really ended up communicating to them. Are you in? Are you out? And then maybe because of that, maybe they got tired of waiting and they got back with an ex or something along those lines, right? And now you're just still feeling stuck. And these energies to me could be saying that this is, for example, let's say you get some kind of weird synchronicities or signs that remind you of this person, like maybe a song you guys used to listen to together comes on the radio, or a movie that you guys watched together, but maybe just randomly shows up on TV, and you wouldn't have expected it to be on. Something along those lines, where it could just be saying that they could be sending you signs to actually make that effort to communicate to the person, but for whatever reason, you seem to just have a lot of anxiety around doing that, which is interesting. Well, and I mean, like I was saying, this is your house of communication too, so maybe just having Uranus going retrograde through that sign right now, maybe that's what's causing some blockages for you with communication. But definitely interesting. All right, well, let's see. The future position on their side, we have the Seven of Cups and we have the Seven of Swords. So interesting. This could be playing out a few different ways, but Seven of Cups is usually that energy where you have a lot of options, but you can't necessarily see them clearly. Here you can see it's a little bit different as far as the artwork goes, but it's still a Neptunian type vibe to the energy. It's technically a Scorpio card, and so is that actually. So you could be definitely dealing with a Scorpio. And then maybe this Wheel of Fortune, which it points to Jupiter, which is what Sagittarius is ruled by. Can just be saying, for example, if they're a Scorpio sun, but they might have their Venus or their Mercury in Sagittarius. So maybe that's the person you're dealing with. But what this can be saying is that maybe they have multiple options, right? And again, especially if you're just in limbo where you're not really responding to them or anything, this could just be saying that they've started to pursue other connections, but maybe, they never told you about these options. So maybe that's part of the problem too, where you feel left out in the cold because, maybe you feel like I don't necessarily get the infidelity vibe per se, because I don't really see like two put together of a relationship between the two of you. So I don't know if you've ever necessarily been in a relationship with this person, just that this is someone you're interested in, or they you. But yeah, looking at this energy here, I mean, we see they're sitting back to each other, so it looks like there was definitely some kind of an argument, and maybe it was because of the fact that this person has multiple options, right? Maybe you were expecting commitment from them, right? Like I said, maybe you were thinking with that contemplation energy, thinking about a long-term connection, and maybe this person just isn't there right now, you know? Because what I first thought of with the wheel, given the artwork here, is that this could have been someone with multiple options, and then maybe that's just how it's playing out, you know? So maybe you're shutting down because you're like, okay, I know I can't take this person seriously. So it just, basically snowballs from there. The bottom of the deck on their side, they have the Seven of Wands. So this is usually an energy of trying to defend yourself, So again, if you eventually maybe you do communicate to them, or maybe you just flat out leave with the Five of Coins, like I said, and maybe they're like, well, where'd that come from? And then maybe this is them trying to defend themselves and what's going on, because I mean, with the Seven of Cups and the Seven of Swords together, it could be that one of you is thinking the other person is being deceptive, but that's not actually the case, because the Seven of Cups would represent not seeing things clearly, and then beneath that having the Seven of Swords, it could just be saying you might see them as being deceptive, but they're not, or vice versa. That's how they view you. So definitely some weird energies. Like I'm not really sure why it seems like you guys are stuck in your head. I mean, we did mention a few possibilities, but still just seems kind of weird. Well, we'll see if the Oracle cards add anything to the mix. Alright, so first I'll see if we can pull some cards from the Mystic Moon Oracle deck I have here. And for those of you who haven't seen these videos from me before, I do pre-shuffle the deck, and then I'm actually looking for jumpers here. First I'm going to be looking for any unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. Alright, so let's see if we have any from you to them first. Alright, nothing coming up yet, and I'll give it a few more shuffles. Alright, nothing there, so next I'll try to see if we have any from them to you. Alright, nothing seems to be coming up there either, but I'll give it a few more shuffles. Oh, there we go, got one, but it fell, so give me a second to grab that. Okay, so this is interesting. The card that's supposed to be their unspoken message to you is, I feel safer in the silence. So maybe that's really what it is. Maybe it's they're the ones who aren't talking. And that's what's giving you the anxiety, you know what I mean? Like maybe you're waiting to hear communication from them, and they're actually the ones that are kind of off doing their own thing and not really communicating with you. Now, why they would feel safer in the silence, I don't know. That seems a little weird too. Maybe it's, I don't know, maybe they're like worried that they would say the wrong thing to you, you know what I mean? But I mean, like I said, we do have the Seven of Wands at the bottom of the deck, which would represent standing up for yourself, basically. So, not sure if that's necessarily it, So maybe even for some of you, this can be you're the ones who are feeling that way, because like I said, you could clearly see the anxiety with the Eight of Swords and Nine of Sword energy. So it's interesting. Let's see what the Wisdom of the Oracle adds to the mix. So same situation here. This is another deck I did pre-shuffle, and then we'll just try to get one jumper, see if we get any additional insight. This is definitely kind of a weird reading, but hopefully the Oracle card will add some additional insight. All right, message in a bottle. So interesting. There you go. There's the artwork, and the number is 15. So let's take a look at the messages for that. Okay, it says communication, a sign, a Claydon, and in parentheses it says the ancient name for a spontaneous oracle delivered innocently by the speaker, pointing the way to your highest good. Okay, so that makes me think of what I was saying with the 9 of arrows, where the artwork there, where it looks like the angel's trying to hand her anyway, an arrow, which to me would represent communication, right? So, like I was saying, maybe you're getting some signs to communicate to this person. All right, the oracle's message says, Spirit sends you signs when you ask for them, when you believe you will receive them, and when you allow yourself to become fluent in the language of symbols, oracles, and omens. They may come to you as a bird flying by, a logo on a truck, and a song on the radio. Expect confirmation that you're pointed in the right direction. Keep your ears open, for someone might say just the right thing that will give you the answer to your query. Today, your message is this: Spirit hears you, and the reply is favorable. So that's interesting, because at one point I was saying to you guys that I feel like it's, you're the ones who aren't really communicating, but then what ends up happening is, I see them exploring their other options because of that. So, that could be the issue. But like I said, it could be something completely unrelated to them that has you feeling that way, like you're not able to communicate. Like I said, for some of you, could even be some financial difficulties. Um, Maybe some of you are dealing with some family issues right now as well. So maybe it's like completely separate from them. But when they see you go completely silent and they're not really hearing from you, then it just might be one of those things where they go explore other options. And maybe you didn't know that they were, that they had those other options. So then, you might end up um, being upset at that point. The relationship message says you can expect someone to favor you with positive news. This could be in the form of a letter, phone call, or email. You are the intended receiver of this message, so stay open to what you learn. Only good will come of it in the end. The signs are all there. So it's interesting. Maybe that's just saying that there will be some communication from this person at some point. I mean, this has like a Mercury retrograde vibe to it, and Mercury retrograde doesn't happen until the very end of October. So I don't know. Something seems a little weird here. Like I said, I feel like it could just be primarily that you just have something else going on, but you don't communicate that to them. So then they just take it as you're not interested, and then they actually go pursue other connections, and then but for whatever reason, that seems to really bother you when you find that out. So I don't know. Hopefully that made some sense for you guys. This is definitely a pretty weird one. So hopefully somebody got something out of that one. Maybe it's just a specific message for a couple of you out there. But we'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right. Bye.